consensus building, growing, continuing, that the Patriots will take Will Campbell 4th overall. And then we got to today, and maybe, just maybe, there's some additional things to consider. But that's where we will begin today, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2.5 days away from the NFL Draft. Mazz and Murray alongside from our Town for Tire Studios. Hi, guys.
Good deal.
How you feel about Will Campbell today? Any different?
Murray?
I told you I can live with him as the pick. I kind of felt a little, not bullish, but a little better about him after he had his pro day press conference, where you got to see a little bit of these things that might not translate all that much in terms of him being a good player, but I think will be a good fit in terms of personality and what Mike Vrabel's going to try to build here in terms of what the whole feel is supposed to be with the team. And that is, stop talking about my arms. I got a chip on my shoulder, and I'm going to be pissed. And you can't teach me. Guys have dropped in the draft before, been undrafted, a guy like John Randall, because they've been undersized in some way, shape, or form. And I have convinced myself, maybe brainwashed myself into thinking, maybe this thing ends up translating with Will Campbell too. Oh, you're going to doubt me? Oh, I'm too small. My arms are too short. You don't think I can play left tackle? F you, I'll show you. Sometimes that ends up panning out, especially in the NFL. So that's why I've talked myself into the Patriots drafting him. I can live with it. I don't love it. It's not the sexiest pick, but I think it's a safe pick, and I can deal with it.
So if I were them, I'd take Will Campbell. That's what I would do. And I've come to the conclusion that this is now the right thing to do.
When did you come to this conclusion?
Today, this morning.
It was read in the last 12 hours.
Yeah, definitely. I said this morning, didn't I?
You did.
I did. So it's 2 o'clock, so that would be within the last 8 hours.
So what happened?
So what happened is this. I've come to the conclusion, like many, that there is no right answer in this draft with the number 4 pick. Okay, and Campbell might be less of a right answer than some other guys, but the fact is there is no right answer. But you want to know the real reason why I settled on it?
I do.
And I don't know why this didn't dawn on me till now, but it did. I'm going to keep the quarterback happy. And I'm going to keep him happy in part because he was obviously agitated enough about Joe Milton being here that they shipped his ass out of town. It's year 2 of the Drake May era. He was dissatisfied enough with Joe Milton that they basically moved him away. And also, I am a believer. I told you there was a video flying around at one point that he might not have been that thrilled about coming to the Patriots in the first place when they picked him. So if they're going to start to win over the quarterback and he's going to be a happy Patriot when the team gets good, start the process now. Start winning his trust. Draft a tackle. That way, at a minimum, he can't look at you and say, well, you didn't get me a tackle until year 3. Heaven forbid he gets smacked around. So you know what? I'm kissing the quarterback's ass because in this age of Gen Z, millennial, all this crap, they all have to have their ass kissed or they get angry. So you know what? Put on some lipstick and kiss his ass.
I hear you, Mazz. I mean, you understand it doesn't work if the guy can't play. I mean, they tried to appease Tom Brady by signing Antonio Brown, trading for Mohamed Sanu.
I agree.
Drafting N'Keal Harry. They tried to make him happy. They drafted picked the wrong guys, and it ended up just pissing him off even more. Why don't you get me any weapons? It's like the same thing.
Yep, but you got to at least try. If you don't try, he's got you. He can say, you didn't even try. You didn't even go. You didn't even try to get me a tackle. And at least now they can say, we're trying. And we got a right tackle. We couldn't sign one on the market. We tried. We drafted one. And we're going to continue to beef up the line as we go. At least they can look at the quarterback and say, we tried. So I've settled on that. Take Will Campbell. Keep Drake May happy. And you better hope that you're right.
I'm out. Out. There has not been a Pro Bowl or All-Pro offensive tackle with an arm length shorter than 33 inches over the last 25 years via the data available from Mock Draftable, whatever that is. Furthermore, 8 of the 11 offensive tackles named All-Pro since 2020 have had an arm length of at least 34 inches. While Campbell's arm length might be long to the average eye, writes Mock Draftable, his arms are considered quite short for a player hoping to play offensive tackle in the NFL. His arm length would be in the 7th percentile of all offensive tackles, meaning he'd have one of the shortest arm lengths among offensive tackles in the league once he's drafted. Most teams believe starting left tackles should have an arm length of 34 inches. ESPN's Jeff Legwold recently noted Campbell's 9.5-inch hand size would also be in the 13th percentile of all offensive tackles.
Ooh.
Additionally, Campbell's wingspan was measured at 77 3/8 inches. If Campbell plays offensive tackle in the NFL, that wingspan would be the shortest recorded for an offensive tackle at the Combine since at least 1999, according to Mock Draftable.
It's not great.
I copied and I went back to my notes from March 3rd, I believe was the exact date, and just copied and pasted that stuff because we read that on March 3rd after Will Campbell got drafted, and we all said the same thing. Out! No way! Out! He didn't measure up. And it was said across the board, across the city, among almost all observers. I did not hear anyone at the time here locally say, that arm length doesn't matter. No, pretty much consensus across the board here. All the reporters, all the experts, everyone said, 32 5/8. And they read those historical measurements and that data, that history, and pretty much everyone said out. And now you've all of you have turned around and said, I know, well, I guess it doesn't matter because the team's going to do it. And now you're all just getting in line. Typical bunch of pussies out there. Seriously.
I made my decision about a month ago. I haven't been, talked to by anyone in the Patriots. It was around the end of March.
And I don't even know if you need to be talked to. I don't know what Mazz's excuse is. But it's like, you don't have to be talked to. It's like, they're going to do it, so get on board. It's just typical. It's just group think, typical group think. I'm sorry, Murray. Go ahead.
I'm kissing the ass of the quarterback.
Go ahead.
It was March 27th or around that time when Will Campbell did the LSU Pro Day. So that's when I made my decision. That's a month ago. So don't lump me in with the rest of these brainwashes.
Lump me in. I don't care.
You're just like the rest of them.
Fine, lump me in. I don't care.
Well, what else do you want? The running back, the tight end, who's just more a blocker than a pass catcher. That people are convincing themselves is going to be the next Brock Bowers.
Are there signs of hope it may not be Will Campbell? Because I'm still holding out hope it's not Will Campbell. Tony Pauline says, and he's a draft expert, long time. I can't remember his affiliation, but Tony Pauline. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He writes the Patriots could pull a surprise and select Jalen Walker at number 4 per Tony Pauline.
Sportskita.com is where he is.
Pauline says New England had a decent-sized contingent on hand at a workout hosted by Georgia for both Walker and Michael Williams. The team took Walker out to lunch following the workout. Buy you lunch?
How nice of them.
They bought him lunch. Nice corned beef on rye, perhaps. So my old Jewish grandmother used to say when someone would take me golfing, buy you lunch.
I hope they took him somewhere nice. Not like never mind.
They buy him lunch. Whoa, they bought him lunch. Look out. Hopefully it wasn't the bologna sandwich and potato chips that Pete Carroll was talking about.
Yeah, the Pete Carroll lunch.
Jalen Walker, number 4, says Tony Pauline. And then there's this. The intrigue ahead of the Patriots, Pete Schrager on ESPN said this morning on the Get Up program. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I'll tell you this. Around the league, the Titans, they're not listening to trade offers. However, there have been phone calls made to both the Browns at 2 and the Giants at 3 with the intention to move up from several different sources telling me there are teams who are looking to get up in this draft to either the 2 or the 3 spot. The assumption being to move up to the 2 or the 3 spot, it would be for Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or the running back, Ashton Genty, who everyone expects to go somewhere in that 5 to 7 to 8 range. There have been teams making calls, and those teams are not immediately slamming down the phone. The Browns at 2, the Giants at 3. Everyone assumes it's going to be chalk, that this is going to go Cam Ward, it's going to go Travis Hunter, it's going to go Abdul Carter. Not so fast. I think the 2 spot gets very interesting if the Browns are listening to a Godfather deal for them to trade back and someone to trade up into the top 3.
What do we make of this?
Well, first, I hate that the Patriots aren't being talked about as one of these teams that teams might be desperate to trade with to move up, but maybe the Patriots are one of these teams looking to move up. You had James Palmer, NFL reporter who's now with Underdog, tweet today, a couple hours ago, I know a team in the top 10 that's head over heels for Travis Hunter. They have been for a while. Maybe the Patriots are that team. Maybe they're looking up to get up and get the actual talent that's in this draft. Maybe Hunter, maybe Carter, who knows? But maybe that's one of the teams that's talking with the Browns.
So the fact that it's spots 2 and 3 in the draft tells me exactly, it validates everything we've thought about this draft. that there were really only a couple of players at the top that people really want, and everybody else sort of falls into the same bucket. And the Patriots are at number 4, and there's a reason why the calls are stopping at 2 and 3 and not 4. And that's because they want Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, one of those two guys. The quarterback is obvious because people will always move up for a good quarterback if he even exists. But that's what it tells me. The draft doesn't go beyond 3.
Mark Daniels, Mass Live reports following the Schrager report. Headline, will New England Patriots have trade inquiries for the number 4 pick? He says again, according to ESPN, the Browns and Giants have received trade calls over the past 48 hours, citing that report from Pete Schrager. Daniels writes, this report makes sense considering the Tennessee Titans are locked into number 1 and reportedly won't trade out and plan on drafting Cam Ward. That leaves 2 of the draft's best prospects, Hunter and Carter, still on the board. The ESPN report also says teams looking to trade up to the top 3 could also be targeting Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. That note makes things interesting for the Patriots. If teams are willing to trade up for Carter, Hunter, and Jeanty, it could mean or could give Mike Vrabel's team a chance to trade down, collect more assets, and still get a quality player. According to a source, the Patriots are not locked into staying and picking at number 4. This draft isn't filled with elite talent, but rather it's deep with quality players and starting caliber prospects. A trade down would mean the Patriots get more draft assets and still likely come away with a starter. So they're not locked into picking at number 4. For the same people who are shoving Will Campbell down my throat now, like he's good, the arm length doesn't matter, he's the guy. If they trade out and don't draft Will Campbell, will you criticize him for it now?
They should be, yes.
Or it's one of those things where whichever direction they go, guys, you're just going to support. Because that's what frustrates me. When those measurements came in on Will Campbell, 95% of the guys here locally said, out. Nope, not going to do it. Now they've all come into line. Now they're all shoving Will Campbell down my throat. What if the Pats trade down? Are they going to applaud the Patriots for trading down and missing out on Will Campbell? Or are they going to criticize him because now you're in on Will Campbell? Pick a side. Pick someone.
Why can't I have options?
No.
Yes.
What if they take
No, this is talk radio. This is sports debate. It's binary. Yes, it is.
No,
what if they take another tackle later in the first round and trade up?
Do you like Will Campbell the best? Because
but look, what I want is a tackle early, whenever that is. So again, I'm not married to Will Campbell, but if they're not going to trade out, they should take Campbell.
I just know what I'm going to get. It's like now it looks like the Patriots are drafting Will Campbell, so everyone's telling me here locally why Campbell makes sense.
I said I could live with it.
And then when they trade out, all these guys
Yeah, I was smart.
that have been shoving Will Campbell down my throat and tell me why he's the perfect pick for the Patriots at 4 are going to tell me, no, this makes more sense.
I could live with that too.
I just reject that. It's like, no, everybody's right, everybody's wrong. It's just a draft. Tell me what you think and stick to it.
I'd want one of those tackles.
I could take Campbell. I could take a draft, them trading back, trading up. I just don't want the running back. That's the one thing.
According to a source, the Pats are not locked into staying and picking at number 4. That means they don't really believe in Will Campbell.
Correct.
I like it.
Although the Browns, I'm not listening to you right now, Murray. Although the Browns and Giants are receiving multiple inquiries, it doesn't seem to be happening on a similar level for the Patriots, writes Daniels. A second source told Mass Live on Tuesday, that's today,
Hi, I've had to do that all week. Go ahead.
that the Patriots have not received much trade interest for their 4th overall selection.
I think there's a reason for that.
Why?
And it's not just the fact that Hunter and Carter are 2 and 3. It's that let's just say that there is interest in Jeanty at the 4th pick. I think people are assuming the Patriots aren't taking Jeanty, and Jacksonville doesn't need him either. Jacksonville's got Travis Etienne, and they get the other kid there whose name escapes me. It's like Big B or something like that. But they get a couple of backs already. So now the only
fourth pick
the
is
other
no
guy
man's land.
pulverized you last year, didn't he? In that London game?
Yeah, right. That's right, Mike. So I'd have
Bigsby.
Bigsby. That's what it is. Tyler Bigsby.
Yeah, I think he shredded. I think he picked you apart.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're going to draft a back either, which is why I think the Raiders are sitting there, because they're at 6, right? They're sitting there saying, we're going to get Jeanty. People are going to have to come to us if they want Jeanty. They know they don't have to trade with the Patriots to get him.
The media thing frustrates me. It's like you all said one thing when you saw that arm length. All of you. But now you're all telling me, no, he's the guy? Why? Did his arms grow? I mean, apparently they demeasured higher at his own pro day.
He's been stretching.
But, like, God, just stick to it. Win some, lose some.
He's doing that thing where you connect your hands behind your back and pull.
That's
Pretty good, Mazz. You could pull that off.
I can only do it on one side, though. I can't do the other one.
That's where we're starting today. Your calls right after this. That's some of the commentary Murray was mentioning. Will Campbell at his pro day.
It's what sold me. Slights, real or perceived, can take an undersized player a long way in the NFL. We've seen it before.
Yeah, I like him. Like, I don't mean to, disparage the kid. He's got a good attitude. I saw some of his other interviews where I said, he's got it. And that's like his intangibles are through the roof and all of this.
Now, would I like longer arms, bigger size? Of course. But, beggars can't be choosy. When you're trying to rebuild the offensive line, you're dealing with a suck draft.
I'm sorry. We all read the same thing on March 3rd, the Monday after he got measured at the combine, and we all said the same thing. No, not going to cut it. Doesn't measure up. Nothing should have changed other than perhaps the team deciding we have to go with this guy and everyone deciding to get in line. That's the only thing that changed.
Do you think
I despise that kind of groupthink. Like, what changed your mind? Because someone told you? Or what? Like, come on. Just have the power of your convictions. It's okay to be wrong.
What if they just don't have the balls now that it's time? What if their grapes shriveled up?
They being commentators or the Patriots?
Commentators.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what I'm railing against.
Same thing?
Yeah, keep your grapes fully inflated. Or whatever. You know what I mean.
Keep your plums juicy.
Ripe, yes, and juicy. I'm mixing my metaphors.
Keep the grapes plump.
You know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
No need to dehydrate.
Everybody's right. Everybody's wrong. You don't have to get on board with what the team's doing just because they're doing it. It happens all the time. They're right at the draft. They're wrong. The whole exercise is just pin the tail on the donkey. It's chucking markers at a magazine. Stick with it. But nope. Now it makes the most sense. All the sense in the world to take Will Campbell. Okay. I got it because they're going to do it. Let's go to the phones. Adam in Newbury Park. Go ahead, Adam. Lead us off.
Hey, what's happening? You guys are making Will Campbell sound like he's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tony Baselli, Hall of Famer, 33.5-inch arms. Not everybody's Orlando Pace with 36 and a quarter-inch arm lengths. This kid, I think there's a good future for this kid. Thanks for the call.
Okay, no, thank you. You have no idea.
Yeah, no. There's the offensive line expert that we've been looking for.
None. And I don't mean to disparage you. You're a fan and you want it to work out. Great. But you have no idea. None of us do.
Orlando Pace had 36-inch arms.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. He could punch you in the face from the other side of the room.
Like guys like Bedard and Phil Perry, I mean, if they're really humping the film, which I think they do, like I'll give them a little more respect than the rest of us. But just a little. Because I don't care how much film you watch or how much experience you have, the draft is pin the tail on the donkey. But fine, I will give them an extra level of respect. The rest of us, caller, me, you, Mazz, Murray, we have no idea.
I just want to tackle early. That's really what I'm settled on. So I'm assuming they're going to use the pick, at which point I would say take Campbell. But I want to tackle early, make the quarterback happy.
They measure him for a reason. Going into the combine, it was the most talked about thing. Going into the combine, it was the most important thing related to Will Campbell and his draftability for the Patriots. He went to the combine, he got measured, and he measured way short. And we all said out. But now I guess we're all in. Bunch of sheep. Ron in Westfield. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, Felger, hold your thumb and index finger up and show me what an 1 3/8 looks like. And then tell me if that's going to make the difference whether this kid's going to make it or not.
Apparently It does, because going in, you said you got to be 33. You didn't tell me before that weekend. You said, let's see what they measure up. We all said the same thing. Let's see what they measure. And then they came in short. And now you're saying, oh, okay, the difference between 32 and 5/8 and 33 is just that. The length of my schmenzer. And it's like, oh, well, that's not going to make – you didn't say that before that weekend. You said, let's see how he measures up. Now it looks like they're going to take him. It's, oh, well, that's only 5/8, with 32 and 5/8. And I've told you this before, too. That's a dangerous game to play. 32 and 5/8 and 33 inches, what's the difference? Less than half an inch. Well, let's say it was 33 and 3/8. What's the difference there? Well, it's 7'8". It's okay. Well, if you keep doing that, the next thing you know, you guys got 31-inch arms. It's a slippery slope. They measure them for a reason. And they gave you that line of demarcation for a reason. But now you're willing to ignore it because your team's going to take them. Just admit that's what it is.
So I've already come to the conclusion, to your point, that the actual number that they prefer is 34, but they will go as far as 33, and that's it.
Bingo. I mean, and I read this. I said it. Furthermore, according to Mock Draftable, 8 of the 11 offensive tackles named All-Pro since 2020 have had arm lengths of at least 34 inches.
Boom.
ESPN's Jeff Legwold noted most teams believe starting left tackles, should have arm lengths of at least 34 inches. That's the real number. They'll let you go to 33 if you're special in other ways, and okay. You start getting below 33, it's almost without precedent. So now we're talking ourselves into, well, we'll draft him. Now he'll play left tackle now, but ultimately slide to guard when we really get our tackle.
It's a big guard.
Okay, that's what we're doing? Just hold him. How about drafting a kid on defense that can make you, who's legit from day one? And, yep, not a position of need, but he's a legit player. That's what you told me a month ago, 2 months ago. But now they're taking him, so we're all getting on board. Okay. Bunch of lemmings.